YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we are gonna do the TENPAI deck. Now, we started off in a bad way with the TENPAI deck. Honestly, I wasn't too sure on how to run this per se, but after a while, it got okay for some reason. Hey, we should get 3 copies of this. Anywho, so what I know so far is go second, win the game. That's it. Is it a tier 1 deck? No, it's not. All you have to do is add some board breakers, add some hand traps, and you are sorted out with turn 2. There are some instances where your only play is going for a Paija and you get negated, you'll end up dead. Honestly, it's not half bad. The majority of the games that I'm going up against today isn't really mostly with TENPAIs, but with some other decks that counter it. So far, I had a ton of fun with the deck, but yeah, I still need to learn more about the deck and how it actually works generally. But so far, yeah, like I said, why do I keep on getting extras of this? That's good. I think I needed that so that I can dismantle some for my Ritual Beast. Anywho, so there we go. This is our build, almost identical to the ones we had in YugiOh Mega. Sadly, I would not add Upstart Goblin here, although I did craft this one during stream, so it was like a minor misplay on my part. But needless to say, we're still running perfectly well with our TENPAIs. Magnamut gains us access to Genruku. Genruku will be spells on the field, gain us access to Paija, and so on and so forth. The Dora card is a pretty good card as well, but in some instances, but not every time. Helps us in some situations as well. For the extra deck, I'm just running 1 copy of Transcendent Dragon just to give more fluid to the extra deck, because we're just running Synchros. I dealt with Labyrinth that's just running Barrier, and we ended our game there. But yeah, still pretty good. 1 copy. Your only problem with this, if you're going up against Kashtiras, they're just gonna banish this. 1 replay, I'm gonna showcase to you guys what happened with if ever they banish this one. Needless to say, it's perfectly fine. For our extra deck, just revolves around the new monsters, the level 7s, the level 10s, and that's it. You just have to work your way with those cards alone. Summary Destroyer is another good card as well. That's it. I don't have any other cards that I can add to this deck. Sad to say, we have a nerfed version of Sangen Summoning. I do understand having a 3rd copy of this would be pretty much a win in most scenarios. So like I said, Sangen Summoning is one of your priority to remove on the field, so that your opponent's TENPAI monsters will be affected by card effects. Anywho, so that is our deck profile. Let's move on with our replays. Alright, so game number 1, we're up against a stun deck. Anywho's Effect Veiler, Ash, Fadra, 1 Chundra, and 1 Imperm is the best way to go. Our guy's just gonna go first and summon a copy of this one here. Expects us to use or play Fire Kings or Snake Eyes or even Yubel. Luckily, on our turn, we got a copy of Paija, so we go first with number 7 Paija. Our guy's gonna use the effect of Maxi. Luckily, we have an Ash here, and for some reason, this guy allows us to OTK him. So thank you, my guy, for doing this, just to showcase this deck out. So all we need to do is just go into get a copy of Sangen Summoning. We don't need. We can also get a copy of Kaimin here, but I just went ahead going for a copy of Summoning, and go for battle from the Chundra, spell summoning the Fadra. And use the effect of Chundra here, but we got Gamad. Luckily, we can use the effect of Paija to sync off to avoid the destruction of our Chundra. And there we go. Go for Bided Dragon. We'll summon the 1 monster from our graveyard. And still continue on synchro summoning a ton of monsters to the field. So just attack, and then sync off once more into a copy of our Trident Dragon. Now, I just want to end the game here because he allowed us to OTK, and that's what we're gonna do. This would actually be different if ever he summons or he has a copy of Imperm here. Needless to say, he allowed us to OTK. Anyways, that is our game number 1. Let's move on with game number 2. Okay, so here we are with game number 2, and for some reason I chose to go first. I don't know what happened to me or what I did, but I chose to go first. So I think I got used to just picking off turn 1. Anywho, Drill and Lockbird, 1 copy of Genruku, a copy of Chundra, 1 Feather Duster, and a copy of Prosperity will get us somewhere. And so we start off with Prosperity. I think we got Ash here. Sad to say. Needless to say, it's alright. But we can't do anything about it. Go for Genruku, use the effect. Spell summon our Paija, and then spell summoning our copy of Chundra on the field. Going for a copy of Heavenly Spears. Now we don't want to use the effect of Sangan Summoning because there's no point, it might get destroyed. And take note, we only have 2 copies of this in our deck. So our opponent is going to go for a copy of Low on the field, go into a copy of Barrier, and I'm just waiting for him to activate the Barrier to use the effect of my Heavenly Spears. And when that's activated, we can just bounce that back to his hand so that he can't add more cards. And for some reason, I summoned the Magnamut in attack position here. That was a bad choice on my part, but yeah, we almost lost the game because of this. So it was supposed to be in defense position. I forgot the effect of Seal, that it would turn the monster into 0 attack and 0 defense. Regardless, he summons the monster, but he can't add because we dropped a copy of Drill and Lockbird earlier. So all he needs to do is just attack and end his turn. Luckily, in our next turn, we got a copy of Veiler, which we can just drop with a copy of Sangan Summoning if ever we can activate it. Summoning our TENPAI Dragon Genruku and activate a copy of Sangan Summoning. Now, he needs to negate this because that is our protection from any negates. So chain a copy of Genruku, get a copy of Paija here, and I was just waiting for him to ash that or whatsoever, but luckily we didn't. So we go for a copy of we go into a copy of Kaiben, and then go into a copy of Chundra, go for Battle Phase, and then so on and so forth. Now we can't go beyond 4/100 unless we have the field spell on our side. Regardless, we still have an option. Go for Biden first, spell summoning 1 monster in the field. That's it. Attack. Then use the effect of Paija, go into a copy of Transcendent. Now Transcendent doesn't allow your opponent to activate any effects. Luckily. So with the effect of Fadra, we use the effect here to sync off into a copy of this one here, the Cobalt. Pop 1 card upon synchro summoning, and it won't trigger the effect because of Transcendent Dragon, and then we are free to do an OTK. So that's pretty good. That's game number 2. Let's move on with game number 3. Okay, so for game number 3, we have finally chose to go second. So Drill and Lockbird, 1 Paija, 1 Genruku, 1 Kaimen, and 1 copy of Impermanence will do us trick. Our guy is gonna go for Kashtira, and like I said earlier, what will happen if our Transcendent Dragon will be banished, or one Transcendent Dragon. So our guy is gonna get a copy of Theosis. We go for a copy of Drill and Lockbird, even though it's not really like helpful against Kashtira's. And then he's just gonna summon a ton of bodies to the field, go into a copy of Rise Heart. Rise Heart will try to banish. We need to remove this one because it will be problematic if we have a Rise Heart on the field, plus a copy of Shangri-Ira that summons a copy of either a copy of Fenrir to the field. So there we go. We just negate it. But he already banished a copy of the Big Bang though, so he might have, or he can summon 1 monster in the field still. End the turn, and on our turn, we got a copy of 1 Board Breaker, which is Lightning Storm. Now, I would choose to destroy the back row here because there's no point of going for an attack position monster. And at least we go for a Kaimen, get a copy of our Genruku. I would prefer, if he negates a copy of Genruku, we can just use the effect of Paija just for the effect. There we go. Use the effect of Genruku after he targets my Genruku with the Fenrir. With that, we can't do anything about this, but just continue on with our combo. Luckily, we have 1 out to this, but I would like to try if ever we can OTK this with the monsters we have. There's a safer way with this, by the way. Which one was it? I would have gone with a copy of. Actually, we can. This was the only way we can destroy all the monsters in the field, by the way, since our Transcendent Dragon was actually banished. So go for Biden, spell summon the Paija there. There we go, and sync up again into a copy of Trident Dragon. Trident, we'll pop 2 cards, increase attack to 6,000. Spell summon the monster once more, and then try to destroy the monster. Luckily, we still have 2 additional attacks for that one. Destroy the last Rise Art and attack for 1,600. Sync off one last time for a copy of Visual Dissipator and attack for 3,500. Now I'm pretty much safe at this point because he has 2 banished cards and 2 banished cards on my side as well. So I just have to spin back one of those cards and then either negate or pop the card in the field. Either way. So it's pretty good on our part. And that's it. Summons a copy of Pathfinder, use the effect, we can just negate it, and that's the end of the game. Tell me your thoughts on the new TENPAIs. We're still gonna do Ritual Beast and of course Goblin Bikers. I'll see you guys on the next video. Keep safe, good luck. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. See you then, guys. Bye bye.